What's the good word, y'all? DKB here. Very excited today for a number of reasons. One of the prime ones, I am getting a chance to go and check out Black Panther tonight. Should be phenomenal. Huge fan of the franchise, the comics, all of the above. But, we just keep getting more and more great news pouring in from the New York Jets organization, what they've done in, acquiring players, developing, and seeing that translate to wins on the field. And PFF actually just did their mid-year review, and at least according to them, putting out who their selections for first team and second team All Pro would be. And we've actually had three players get selected in either the first or second team, and I don't think these would be surprises whatsoever. So for our first team selections, we have two defensive players. We have Quinnen Williams and we have Sauce Gardner. And, I've broken down all of their numbers quite a few times. But we take a look at their 2022 season and what I can find in terms of where they rank up and different things like that so far. 9 games played, 2 pass deflections for Quinnen Williams. He's forced a fumble. He's gotten a fumble recovery. He's number one in interior defensive linemen with 7 sacks so far. 33 total tackles, 6 tackles for loss, which he's tied with a few other players at number 6. 17 quarterback hits, and then he's, I believe, tied or he's placed 7th with 18 pressures overall. So he's been absolutely phenomenal. And then you take a look at the fact that he hasn't missed any tackles on the season. And for all of the hate with the heavy rotation of players on the defensive line, he's leading a lot of these interior defensive linemen, Chris Jones, Aaron Donald included, in a lot of these statistical areas, and he's doing it while only playing 66% of the snaps on defense. It's been a little bit of a bump up for him, of course, and maybe we see him a little bit more with his running mate rankings going down a little bit. But I mean, he's been absolutely killing it. And so I don't think there's any argument that would say you can clearly see another player ahead of him in this position, which is awesome. Keep in mind, he also had that huge field goal block that, is padding some of his special team snaps as well, which he plays a fairly good amount of. So, I mean, in any phase and every opportunity he gets, he's been going out there and putting in work. Our other first team All Pro was actually cornerback Sauce Gardner, who has been getting definitely a lot, probably the most hype in the cornerback room. DJ Reed, especially after like the Bills game with what Stephon Diggs was able to do, maybe he's taken a bit of a step back. But I would say you can insert either one of those cornerbacks. I mean, in any given week, Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed are cornerbacks 1A and cornerback 1B. I mean, they're going to lock down whoever is essentially in front of them, or severely take them out of the game plan, at least, unless you're just forcing multiple passes. And this Stephon Diggs game was really the first time that we've seen this. But going into Sauce Gardner's statistical output so far, same thing. 9 games played, 2 interceptions, at least among cornerbacks. He's tied with 12 others with 2 apiece. 13 pass deflections, that puts him well and above the rest of the league in the NFL. And then we're looking at 44 tackles on the season, 3 tackles for loss, a quarterback hit. He's only allowing this is where things got a little bit crazy, because depending on which source is talking about Sauce Gardner and his stats, some people have not placed the miscues and some of the miscommunication issues on Sauce Gardner. They put it on LaMarcus Joyner. Some sites still kept it on Sauce Gardner. So in some general realm, he's allowing a 52.9% completion rate. He's allowed 226 yards on the catches that have been made. And then he's allowing a 54.9% passer rating. He's somewhere in that general ballpark. Again, it's going to depend on who you're referencing, and different things like that. 3 missed tackles so far, only a 6.4% missed tackle rate, which is excellent for a rookie, his first season, especially considering the amount of tackles he's getting in on. And he's playing 98% of the snaps on defense. He's only come out a handful of times, and I believe that's when we had the minor, I think it was an ankle scare, like 2 weeks back. So either way, phenomenal job. The fact that we have a rookie that is looking at a first team all pro selection is absolutely ridiculous. And I found it interesting too. Quentin Williams was saying during one of his press conferences, they joke a little bit about him having more success than, Quentin Williams has ever had on the team. And I think you can say that applies to almost any rookie. I don't know, especially for a first rounder, any rookie in recent memory that's had as strong of an impact as him. Breece Hall would have really been the only challenger so far out of this draft class. And if Garrett Wilson can keep getting his showing, maybe he can be on par. But I mean, absolute dominance by Sauce Gardner, well deserved. And you see him lock down the position with Patrick Surtain, which lets you know just how well he's already been progressing as a rookie. And then we had Justin Hardy. He rounds out the second team all pro selection for special teams players. This is the one that was a little bit more curious to me. I couldn't find a whole lot in terms of how they're ranking these people other than kind of what the amount of tackles that they're racking up. So Justin Hardy hasn't played any snaps on defense. Once again, keep in mind that's not anything crazy for him. Last year, he only got a single snap on defense. So this is the way they plan to employ Justin Hardy as a special teams ace. But he's played in all 9 games. He's forced a fumble, and it looks like he had 10 tackles, which will put him as third in the rankings. And one of those other 2 players above him was the ones that I believe ended up getting the first team all-pro selection. Yeah, I don't think I can find it again right now, but he's doing that while playing 79% of the snaps on special teams. So I'd be curious as to why he may not necessarily be somewhere in the 90 range. But keeping in mind how many special teams players that we brought on that can bring in quality play, it makes a lot of sense as well for them to have a little bit of rotation. But with him having a very specified role as a special teams only player, and he'll come in at cornerback if there's a huge emergency, talking like 2 or 3 guys going down. Either way, though, I mean, we haven't had this many selections in forever. I mean, everything that we're going to relate this to has to go back to the days of Rex Ryan and the defenses that he brought. Prior to that, you have to go back to when we had players like, Lavor News-Coles, Jericho Cotchery, lining up with Dustin Keller, different things like that. So hopefully we can get an offensive player on this list as well by the end of the season. And again, best candidate is probably going to be Garrett Wilson, even if Elijah Moore balls out in this second half with him being in a slot position now. I don't see him, unless he explodes from multiple 200-yard games and, multiple touchdowns. I can't see him necessarily finding his way on there. But irregardless, I'm extremely excited to see that, we're getting due credit everywhere. Garrett Wilson just picked up, not Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner just picked up his 3rd Rookie of the Week belt. We have multiple other players with 2, Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall had 2 before he went down. And so, it's excellent to see. Hopefully maybe a Jermaine Johnson or a Michael Clemens can find their way into the finding their way into getting the belt as well. But I will take it. It's been all excellent news all around. Hopefully that continues during this bye week. And then keep in mind we've had to push back our Jets Flight Squad podcast for a week or 2, but we plan on hopefully getting that rolling tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. That should be a lot of fun. But I appreciate the support as always, guys. Let me know if you think there's anybody else that may be able to find their way into this list on the first team or second team All-Pro, and I will catch you guys again. Peace.